business and private support. You know, we worked with them years ago. We had a fantastic campaign for let's be together. It's a conversation, a private conversation with IBM, and that will be great. So maybe we can have the luxury to introduce everyone here as we are. So maybe Gregory, you can start. So let's look at, many people are asking me, how did it start? So the origin of my virtual model. I was at Nordstrom. I met a personal shopper. I filled the questionnaire with her, and then suddenly the store was configured just for me. Isn't it a dream? When you are with a personal shopper, everything you are looking at, it's just for you. So I really liked the experience. And at the same time, there was this Barbie fashion designer CD-ROM, and Barbie was in 3D walking on the runway. It was gorgeous, and I thought, woo, everyone would like to be in 3D, walking on the runway. So we combined the questionnaire of the personal shopper and the Barbie in 3D, and I thought, hey, people will create a 3D model of themselves, they will fill the questionnaire, and their virtual model will become their personal shopper. So that's the way it came true. And so it's in the 2000 years, so that's why the graphic, and today, look at this, it's a real-time 3D. It represents an H&M top model. Here I am with some user, and it's really, you know, realistic. So you multiply yourself when you use your virtual model. It's the virtual identity. I will invite Matt to join me. Can you come?
Sure, yeah.
We are presenting together.
So I'm the VP of social media for Hearst. In case you guys aren't familiar with Hearst, we're a global media company. Sort of like Viacom or News Corp, but we're not public, we're private. So we have a little bit more latitude to take some long-term risk, which is fantastic. We currently publish 18 daily or weekly newspapers, unless something happened in the news this morning that I haven't read yet. We have over 200 magazines that we publish across the world every month. The magazines reach 75 million people in the US alone. We also have TV broadcasting. We have 28 TV stations. We have radio stations. We have significant but minority positions in cable networks like ESPN, A&E, Lifetime. And of course, we have a significant presence online, primarily the magazine websites like Cosmopolitan.com and 17.com, but we also have a growing stable of digital-only websites. For example, Caboodle.com, which is social shopping, which we hope to do business with Louise on, and also a health website called Real Age. So those online presences get us about 40 million unique visitors every month in the US alone. So I've been with Hearst for just over a year. I came when they acquired a company that I founded called Answerology. And the reason I'm joining Louise today is because we're trying to figure out various mashups between social commerce and social media. So, because I'm susceptible to peer pressure, I feel like I should give my background too, and it won't be quite as pretty. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts. When I was growing up, I really wanted to be a music journalist. I wanted to write for the Rolling Stone. And I ended up going to college. I was a lit major. I felt that might be a little bit more career-savvy decision. That wasn't quite practical enough, so I ended up getting an MBA at Northwestern Business School at Kellogg. Before grad school, I worked in the music business, primarily as a talent scout for a big music publisher. And after grad school, and this is still a bit of a mystery to me, I ended up on Wall Street. Most recently, I worked at Lehman Brothers, may she rest in peace, in an area called structured equity derivatives. And basically, I enjoyed Wall Street, but I stayed there long enough to pay off my student loans and put a little safety net in the bank. And I finally got a chance to do what I thought I wanted to do my whole life, which is to write. And ended up writing a novel, a romantic comedy called Guy Critical, which is all about miscommunication between women and men. So I wrote this book. I was a first-time novelist, and you really need some sort of a marketing presence because your publishers don't do much for you. So I decided to launch a website around it. Same name as the book. It was called GuyCritical.com, where women can ask guys anything. And that was the seed that we planted that became Answerology. What we did was we set up a community of users And like advertised, women could go there and ask men anything, and the men were regular guys from all over the world. So to give you an example of how somebody might use the site, let's say there's a young woman in New York and she's having some relationship difficulties with her boyfriend. And let's say hypothetically her boyfriend is a 30-year-old Catholic jock who lives in New York City. Well, she could go to our website, Guy Critical, a social media property, and say, here's my question. It's about a dating relationship. And I want responses from guys that are like my boyfriend, so 30-year-old Catholic jocks from New York City. And it really took off, sort of on its own. We had a little bit of PR from some women's magazines, of course. But very quickly we noticed two things. Number one, guys had questions too. And that was really exciting for us because we were thinking guys are just going to hang out in their man caves and not talk about their relationship stuff. But they were registering as women so they could ask questions too. And number two, notice people weren't just asking questions about romantic relationships. They would ask questions about any sort of relationship because they had this beautiful empty text box in front of them. So we relaunched as Answerology.com. This is sort of 0405. And we got a very nice business development deal with AOL that allowed us to scale up past 1 million unique visitors a month. And that sort of brought us the attention of a bunch of media companies. And the best fit, for reasons we'll get into later, was for Answerology to team up with Hearst. So we were acquired by Hearst last March. I still run Answerology as a website and also as a technology platform. I also run social media for all of the Hearst magazine properties. I also run some of their teen strategy, which is 17 and Cosmo, and a bunch of others. And the reason that Louise and I are talking and hopefully partnering very soon is that I also run what's called innovation, which means things that Hearst is not doing, that we should be doing, which to my mind include virtual identity, which Louise is an expert on, and social commerce. So with that, I'll hand it back to her. But
You deserve a glass of water.
Cheers.
Okay, nice story. Because I must say that my virtual model, we are a little bit like search engines on the web, but with 3D image. So that's very interesting to see what could be done with social commerce and this type of relationship with Answerology, Matt and Earth. Let's talk very quickly about social media and social commerce. We all heard these terms many times since I am here, but you know what? Billy Crystal was right. It's not that clear for many people what it means. But let's look, and I hope that in our presentation you will have at least a vision. There are many, but that you will have a vision with the shopping, what it could mean. And so let's look together. Social network. We all know, if I ask you, what does it mean for you? What example would you take for social commerce or social media?
Facebook.
Facebook,
Yeah.
absolutely. And Twitter, MySpace, Flickr, where, in fact, the most interesting website right now, Vibrant or Alive, are oriented with social activities. And people also learn, and what do we see there? We see that users are in the driver's seat. They control, they remix the content, they are very active. And they learn also, in many cases when they shop, to make the best deal, to get the price right, and it will grow. That's just the beginning. I am sure that we will see incredible things. People will regroup and use the power of the number. But that's what we see. And we envision that what will be the next wave? What will be the next thing? So we really see that personalization will become big and important because, hey, let's realize that online, we all talk about personalization after Amazon, but this is for products. Where are the person? We don't see them. And as a merchant, you don't see your customers and your customer don't see you. It's invisible. So this personalization here It's through visualization. So I will show it to you. Would you like to add on it?
I would add one thing. Social media is just this incredible phenomenon right now. I mean, these stats are unbelievable. 10 of the top 20 sites worldwide are social media sites. 1 billion users are creating content on the web. And what's missing right now is monetization. For the most part, social media companies are just not able to create revenues that are significant. And we both feel like the next wave of social media is this personalization aspect that creates not just targeted advertising, which in itself is a significant opportunity, but also the social commerce, being able to have a community of people that are interested in fashion, helping each other and showing each other what might be a good purchase for them because of their body type, because of their weight, because of the way they look. So it's just very exciting.
Create confidence. And we took the comparison of search engine, and we know that for Google, when they understood how to use advertising, then monetization started. So I think that what we are doing together is important. Okay, so, and don't hesitate to ask questions or use the fact that, you know, we are not that many, so we can be very, very direct and interactive. World leader in virtual identity. With my virtual model, you create a 3D model of you, and you can visualize yourself, but also you can create your virtual home. And fashion and home decor in magazine are very often together. It's an expression of your lifestyle. And the power of the 3D, you can mix and match literally everything. It's a powerful mix and match engine and machine. And my virtual model is the outfitter engine, because you mix and match on your body type. And we talk about personalization, about finding your style. If it's true, I can only try my style on myself, not on anybody else. I should follow my own model. We are offering outfitting solution, cross-selling, and of course when you create yourself, you will see it's easy and fast. You are engaged. Something to add? Okay? Personalized. So 18 million models were created. So people like to use their model. And I'm sure that you will start to ask questions. How come that not every single retailer or brand are not using it? We'll come back to this. You know, because, hey, 18 million people already said, you know what? I want to shop with my model. You know, I want to, that's a way that I like to look for my style.
But
and yes?
How did you come up with 18 million? You have 18 million model types that people have interacted with, that they've created?
18 million users created their own virtual, yes.
Okay, so over the life of the site,
yes.
You had 18.
Not only our site, but the site of our clients. For example, H&M is one of our clients,
Okay.
and they attract millions of people because they invested massively in their marketing.
Okay.
They are not even e-commerce, but people love to visit their site. That's one example. I was talking about a campaign we did with Kellogg, Levi's. We have worked with many, many companies where, in fact, their clients became the user of my virtual model.
Okay.
Okay? So, let me show you quickly how easy it is. So, you fill a questionnaire when you personalize your model. You choose your ethnicity, your height, your hair color, hairstyle, add a picture of yourself on your 3D model, and voila, you start to shop with your model. And we can even combine with scanner. We already did it. It's a great way to gather very precise data for the fit. Find your 3D style. Because we have created so many garments, now we have key images. It's easier to shop with key images. You look for, you know, for example, I'm going to a party at Vegas, so hey, I'm looking for a top. you try the 3D, the key image on you, and it matches real product. So the key images will help you to find real products that you can try on and buy. It is linked to the product page. So it's a very active visual search. Search, shop, and buy. You can also search with the outfit of people in our community. You like these looks? You can try it on your model. Just a single button, try on outfit, and you can buy the outfit. You know, you are inspired by what other people wear. You were saying previously that, hey, celebrities are very inspirational. I can imagine, like with hers, that when we have celebrities and say, I like this outfit, you can try it on you. And even find similar products, we have this capacity. More like this, maybe at a more affordable price. You can choose any products chosen by user and see how other people are wearing it. It is really crowdsourced, where we use the wisdom of crowds in the community, always linked to the product page.
Do you pull in, because I saw it has, you know, all those little stars, I always freak out. So are you pulling in, say you pull in something from H&M?
Yes.
And they have their own rating system on Amazon.com.
The looks of other users. We will add ratings of product, that's the next step on our site. But we don't use the rating from other sites. Is your
Yeah, so Macy's.com, for example, they already have that rating system. So if you, as one of your choices, had Macy's, where you get that out there, put it pulling in the user comments from Macy's site.
We will show you an example of social recommendation widget, and we will see how it can match what you are thinking.
Just out of curiosity though, does Macy's actually give ratings for paired outfits? They do.
I know, that's the question I was thinking.
Yeah,
too.
because I think what they review are actual items, just one-offs, like just this shirt or just the pants. And what's so brilliant about this is you can actually rate an ensemble outfit.
A look. You rate a look.
A look. And you can also look at people that have your same body type. So you can say, you know, I'm skinny, you know, I'm short, or whatever it is, and you can actually look. But what do people look good in that are like me? So that's what I think I'd be most curious.
Well, the other thing that I'm thinking about as well is that a lot that I'm hearing now is this whole shopping experience with mobile devices.
Yes.
Where then you could then put your ensemble together, saying, hey, I'm going to New York City for the weekend to shop, and you've got 4 or 5 different looks. And then through the search, you're now saying, go to H&M, go to Macy's, go to wherever to get that look. And over time, I can see where we start doing comparisons of pricing and so forth.
Right.
Absolutely. That's why we needed to build a community where we could regroup all these looks together. So, target advertising. Here in the community, you can imagine that brands would like to talk to people or retailer. So as we know your profile, because people fill the questionnaire, you know what type of body type you are. As we know your behavior, so we can absolutely use it in a way that, for example, in this case, it's a plus size figure, full figure woman, so we can offer her swimwear for her body type. It's relevant, it's qualified, and it can be based also on what you are looking for. If you are looking for bags or accessories or shampoo, if you are blonde, so L'Oreal will offer you shampoo for blonde hair. So it's really for the relevancy and qualification of the advertising.
One of the relationships we're talking about is actually having Hearst help sell some of the advertising. And this is sort of the holy grail because you really want to be able to target, especially fashion, to people's body types or styles. And we always look for different engagement techniques so we can get people to actually give us relevant information specifically about them because then they keep coming back. So to have them give us information like this and then be able to target advertising against it, it's a significant opportunity.
Comments? Question? It's always better when people come to you to tell you what you want to know.
So is that data that you guys are reselling then back to your clients then? Is an analytic person or?
Excellent question. Right now, it's permission-based for the user. So we aggregate data. We co-own data on the side of merchant and on our side, of course, because we will mine it. We already have, we know your preferences, your personal information about your body type, your friends. For the retailers, we can tell you, it's like if you are entering in a dressing room and people in fact build their own virtual closet, so we know all what merchants want to know about the customer. So we are building this offer of set of data, absolutely.
So you're building it, it's not something that can be integrated with the Gap right now for their marketing promotion?
Well, sure, I mean, through
Absolutely.
through most ad serving technologies, from the publisher level, from the advertiser level, the agency level, we're actually at the stage now where you can target based on a lot of third-based permission advertising data.
What's your target market? I guess I would throw this out, I don't
On
know
the
whether or not-
community,
Yeah, I mean, and obviously first you chose to team with them probably because it's a specific target market of age or income or demographic. Right?
Hearst is primarily focused on women. Our women's network includes, Cosmo, Harper's Bazaar, and a lot of fashion magazines like Harper's. And for us, it's 18 to 35. We also have a teen network, which is significant, 17 and Cosmo Girl. But for the big advertising buys, we want to be 18 to 35 female fashion review. Which is not to say, they have 18 million people who've already created a profile, and she has all the data. But it does actually go much younger and also much older.
absolutely. And we were limited before our community with the clients of our client. You understand, but the young people were sending messages all the time and saying, I love my model, but I don't wear these garments. It's not the garments for me. So in many cases, we brought these testimonial to many brands and said, look, they really want to try your garments, but we will explain you what is happening right now because we can scale today. So that's one of the announcements of the day. So we are at this service-oriented architecture conference, and my virtual model is really a virtual identity platform. We are first a service-oriented architecture providing products and services to improve the overall shopping experience. So first, we work with our community where people are creating a virtual model of themselves with this community of e-friends and trendsetters and experiencing a fun shopping experience. But at the same time, we have this platform for the industry, for our client retailers partner. We have this platform where for them they can really show their product in a kind of target shopping window. That's really what we are offering, and we even bring it on their site. We will show it to you in a moment, where we do not defocus people when they are on their site and they want to find a product and buy. Here it's more social, they explore style, they socialize, and on the side of the merchant it has to be focused. Hello sir, welcome. So we are at the social recommendation widget phase. So on the side, we are here on a product page of a brand or a retailer. I look at this dress and I am wondering, how people like me, how do they wear it? People who have the same body type I have, the same fashion style, and then from our community, we feed with virtual model of people like you, how they wear it, how they put it, the look together. And it's a kind of visual recommendation or visual rating. So, and then you can enlarge the image. You don't have to create your model. If it's the first time that you are seeing it, it's a true social recommendation widget. I'm curious to see what you think. What is your reaction about this part of the presentation?
So you're saying the difference is, because when you go buy a dress, whatever.
Yes, it has been.
We'll just use Macy's again as an example. It would, on their site, it would show up, same commerce site, it would show up all the shoes and the, you know, it would give you those choices, but you're saying it would actually put it on the model.
In this case, you see, we will use generic images, and we will add with their products progressively, because merchants, they don't want to see products from other brands. They are very territorial. So that's why we are starting like this. They might open their brand because of the social influence, but to be sure that we respect their culture, so we suggest to do it this way. Do you want to talk now?
So that limits your ability to cross-sell and upsell unless the department store organization has agreements to mix and match, right? I mean, because you're getting to the point where you're doing around, right?
We do it in our community. In our community, in our
When you say
community,
riddles,
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're doing. You're doing adult animals.
That's good,
You know, online, and the ability to be able to bring, you know, a pair of Rockin' Republic jeans with this Affliction
right,
T-shirt.
which is no longer a big deal with affiliate networks.
Okay.
No.
I mean, we're getting to the point where we're starting to do commerce on her sites. It doesn't matter if it's coming from Macy's or Neiman's.
Oh, really? Okay. So you guys are almost doing like an open ID standard across models.
exactly,
Okay.
absolutely.
It just has to be.
Yeah, okay, that's, okay.
And I think that they will have a kind of pressure from people. But for now, I think to start it, you know, many merchants right now like this. They feel comfortable because they feel they control their brand. It's a big challenge for them. How will they open their brand? How far they can go and...
Yeah, because like we did in American Apparel, and some of the other ones tried to do this in Second Life, and then, you know, you guys still have to force everybody into the physical store in Second Life, and that's limited, so that's kind of run off. So this is taking it outside, basically.
Yes.
Is this functionality in Second Life as well, or?
We are approached by Second Life. We are talking with them now for 2 years at least, but we will, with the Fashion Institute of Technology, we will do something where we have an idea how to integrate one experience with them.
And as, you know, as far as our perspective on casual gaming versus Second Life, we're much more into casual gaming. Places like Hangout.net, it's much easier setup. And you can import branded merchandise in,
Yeah.
and do a rev share, and sell advertising against it, etc. Second Life is awesome, but it's just, I mean,
Too cumbersome.
too cumbersome.
Yeah, you got to be too sophisticated to use it, and, you know, there's talks of what environments can you put on the Wii and
Right.
other things like that, so, okay.
This is a casual solution,
Yeah.
which is very easy to set up.
Well, is it all flash-based?
We have Flash modules, but just to answer that,
Mhm.
we actually do not need any plugin or any Flash as a basic requirement.
What do
So
you use?
basically HTML, and the images are coming from the server. The server on our side will show you the platform, takes care of all the 3D, and then it's basically a simple web browser. That's all you need.
So it's magic.
So you're using Ajax?
Ah,
There's
the
Ajax
magic
and
is
then
coming
Flash.
back.
You have the choice.
It's pixie dust. IBM has.
It's pixie dust. Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys aren't using like Drupal or anything like that? It's Ajax or something?
Yeah, we don't have any requirements on the browser, basically.
Really? Okay.
It's really light.
So there's no on-the-fly rendering that happens?
Server side.
Server. Okay, good. Sorry.
We'll see, we have surprise. I think that's your life.
The one thing I would point out, which I think is really neat, is the social aspect of this, being able to come to a product page where you're seeing how other users put together an outfit with this item. And Louise asked me, she said, we have about 10 or 15 million Q&As in our database from Answerology. She said, could you just surface certain Q&As that have been asked before right? So somebody could say, you know, this is my height, this is my weight, I want a black dress, what do I look good in? And I said, well, we could do that, technically. We could surface that conversation, but it doesn't create community. What you really want to have the ability to do is show some potential outfits, but then let somebody ask a question and say, how would this look on me?
Can I ask a question about H&M?
Absolutely.
So I'm curious on kind of their evolution of what they found from the time that they, partnered with you and put up your site and started working and putting it out there in the community, and where they are today. So what was the evolution and how are they using it today? And did it serve the intent in which they set out? Does that make sense? Like, how are they using it? Is it delivering upon what they were hoping it would, or maybe it's delivering in a different way?
Let me tell you something. H&M is why Gap, why American Apparel, American Outfitter, why are they should use it? They have the perfect demographic. Why do you think they are not using it?
You don't have salespeople.
Because it was too expensive to digitize garment.
Well, the catalog is kind of
Yes, so that's the surprise of today. We have now a way, we call it quick 3D. Gregory will explain it to you, but we use quick 3D.
quick three.
Okay?
Three.
Absolutely, 1, 2, 3. Like Louise and her virtual model. And this is great because we use our generic garments and we map the picture of the catalog on the generic garment. It can be done by user. It's truly social. It takes a few minutes and bingo, you can try on practically every garment on the web. So that's very important to scale, and I can tell you that we have a great response from the market. Gregory, do you want to show it?
Yes, so I'll do a quick demo here. I'm going to pull up a prototype. This actual technology is coming out in July. But what I want to show you is how even an end user could do some user-generated content because it's so easy. So the thing with Quick 3D is it's fast. It can be done professionally, fast. It can also be done by end users, fast. And I'm going to show you here how now if a user wants to complete an outfit and get something from any brand,
American Apparel.
American Apparel, they could actually go and do that. So on the left here I have a virtual model.
Vintage,
Absolutely.
1970 Chanel belt
Yeah.
that I want to put on.
eBay.
That I saw on
Exactly,
eBay.
right.
Absolutely.
And on eBay,
So it's neat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah. And on eBay it's interesting because people sell garments, it's very popular. But how do you find the size that will fit you? Well, by mapping people's virtual models, finding people with a similar body shape, similar height, similar proportions as you can find a garment that also will fit your.
And because of it, because it's scalable, then the merchant are willing to bring us in their product page with the social recommendation widget. Because we can cover every product, which was very important to scale. To bring
Great way
it,
to
and now it will
crowdsource.
be mainstream and in the core shopping experience, then we will deliver great conversion. Because you have to cover all the assortment. Thank you, Gregory.
Okay. So as a segue, I mean, this is a great example of crowdsourcing and getting users to create content for you. We talked about the evolution from Guy Critical to Novel to Guy Critical to website to Answerology to website. And then when we were acquired by Hearst, we sort of changed our tack, less about having a www website and more about integrating this technology platform into the various Hearst magazine sites. So I've been there about a year. We've now integrated our technology platform into 7 of their sites. On the top right, you're seeing Redbook, Cosmo, and Marie Claire. Those are all still in the relationship category. So users are asking and answering questions about dating and family and colleague sort of relationships. On the left, Good Housekeeping and Quick and Simple, we started to move into different vertical areas. That's home and family. And then in the middle of January, we launched the teen sites, Cosmo World 17, and those have done very, very well. Now, the digital media space that Answerology is in is pretty interesting. It's called Community Q&A, or some folks call it knowledge search. And The main competitor we have is a product that Yahoo launched about 3 years ago. It's basically their version of Answerology. And just to show you the significance of the area, they have 154 million people globally that use the product. So there are very few areas in the consumer internet where you can build a business that's as big as MySpace or Facebook. This happens to be one of them. Now, we're different than Yahoo Answers in two very significant ways, which plays into why we're going to be working with my virtual model. The first thing is that on sites like Yahoo Answers, picture just a giant pool of questions and answers. You can go there and ask a question about anything. What's the fastest land animal? How come I can't wear white before Memorial Day? And where do I get good sushi in Las Vegas? It's fun, it's interesting, it's a good tool, but it doesn't build community because people aren't really passionate about any one thing when they're there. As you can see here, our approach is quite different. We're setting up different vertical areas where people have what we call a lifetime passion. So it's shelter, it's house and garden, it's food and wine, it's fashion, style, beauty, relationships. And because people are so passionate about the areas, they come back day after day, month after month, and as it turns out, year after year. So it's very sticky. Actually, the second way that we're different is on most social media sites, and I'm going to just define social media because it's such a weird term. I define it as any sort of media that's created, modified, or distributed by a user. So you have traditional publisher media where they create something and they put it on a magazine or on the web. That's great. This is user-generated content. It could be Facebook where people are talking to each other. It could be Flickr where you're uploading pictures and sharing them. It could be Twitter, which is a micro-blogging platform. So most social media is flat. It's just one user to another user. Our approach is quite different, and it looks more like a pyramid. We actually call it the content pyramid. At the base of the pyramid, you have users asking and answering questions, they're browsing, they're just part of the community. In the middle of the pyramid, we have what we call expert peers. They're regular folks, but they're very passionate about the area they're in, and they're quite good at asking and answering questions. And at the very top of the pyramid, we have currently the Hearst brands. They're experts. So they are actually interacting in the communities. We have the 40 editors from 17 magazine answering questions. It adds credibility, so when a user gets there, they're like, okay, this really feels like a credible environment. And it's great for advertisers because they feel like there's gravitas. They're thinking, yes, we want to be in social media because top 10 of the 20 sites on the web are social media sites and 1 billion users are creating content. But most advertisers are still concerned about what's called inappropriate adjacency. I don't want my brand to 2 people talking about naughty things. So we get around that because of this content pyramid. And I'll show you some examples of how we've got advertiser interest in this already. Here's some examples of the taxonomy of each of the different sites. You can see on Good Housekeeping, people are talking about house and home. They're talking about shopping and coupons. That would not be of interest to girls at 17. On Cosmo Confidential, people are talking about... What's that?
Their budget got cut from their parents.
Maybe. On Cosmo, obviously, they're talking about dating and sex. And on 17, they talk a lot about prom and parties and a lot of fashion issues. And what we're proposing for my virtual model is people will be talking about, obviously, fashion topics, fashion trends, what sort of prom dress should I get, how do I dress for a job interview, once I've got the job, how do I dress for success, etc. So again, each of our different sites has a different taxonomy. People are talking about different things when they're on that site. Here's an example of our 17 Q&A community. This is with Answerology integrated into it. We launched this mid-January. By the end of February, it was already the #1 most popular site feature. So it's showing that when we promote this, we actually get enormous traction. So we're at 1 to 2 million pages consumed weekly now. And as I said, we have 40 expert respondents. And some of these experts are fantastic. We have the woman that does Beyonce's hair. We have the woman that does J-Lo's makeup. So it's very exciting for a teenager when they ask a question. They're getting an answer from somebody who's famous. And then they can click through to their profile page and they can see videos and everything else. So it really sort of completes the community experience.
Once the question's been asked and the answer's been had, it lives in the site, so then you can search it, and Beyonce's hairdresser has already answered that question.
That's exactly
It's
right.
there already.
Yeah, it lives in perpetuity, and it's in a special section of the site, which is called Expert Advice. And because of that, it indexes extremely well. So when people are searching for Beyonce or hairstyles, we're starting to come up and index very well, which is great for traffic. This is how we promote it from the mothership. So what you're seeing is 17.com's website. On the left, you're seeing a little, it's called a homepage promo player. It's just it's like a little video that explains what it is. And on the right-hand side, you're seeing examples of little widgets. And what we're doing is we're showcasing relevant content. So in this case, you'd be on 17.com and you're reading about prom. We'd showcase a question that's about prom, and you can either click to answer the question, or you can click to see how other people answered it, or you could actually ask a question directly from 17.com. And this is how we would do it with my virtual model as well. We'd showcase relevant fashion content, relevant beauty content, and then showcase the responses. I talked about the content pyramid. This is what it looks like if you're on the site. On the very top, you're seeing a question. On the very bottom, you're seeing an answer from a user. And in the middle, you're seeing a response from a health expert who's the health editor from 17 magazine. See how it gets special branding around it? Here's an example of how it would look if it was an advertiser who responded. And it's the same idea, it's a content pyramid. This is an example of what we call social media marketing. So social media marketing just basically means an advertiser wants to engage with users and join the conversation. They don't just want to put up a static banner, they actually want to communicate and interact with users. What this allows them to do, what you're seeing is Confessions of a Shopaholic, the movie that just came out. It's about fashion, it's about beauty and romantic relationships. And we let the woman who started it, Rebecca Bloomwood, answer questions. And as she's answering questions, she's not saying, go out and buy my DVD. She's just becoming an expert in the community. And because of that, you respect her and you like her. And you say, ooh, what else has she got going on? Click through her profile page, and then you might see videos from the movie, etc. If it was for my virtual model, I don't know if you guys remember, I said, in the initial example of Guy Critical, this woman had a question that she wanted guys who were 30-year-old Catholic jocks to answer a question. This is how it would play out if it was in a fashion or shopping community. You might say, I want this question answered by women who have my body size, my body shape, my color hair, etc. And we can target just those users within our community. All the questions also get delivered by email. So yes, they get posted to the website. But if I sign up on Answerology or 17, I'll say, I want to receive questions about fashion 3 times a week, just from women who have my body shape. So it's a way to continue to connect with them and get them back to the site. This is a mock-up of Cosmo Confidential, so it's the Answerology community inside cosmopolitan.com. And the example is a woman's asking a question about going on a first date, and she wants to know if her outfit is good.
Yes, and she has a peer body shape, so she's not sure about what type of dress she should choose or wear. And so here, the answer is that this expert says, you know what, I have the same body type. And in fact, we like that because this woman knows exactly what she thinks, she tells that, hey, you should have an entire waist, which would be high waist, full skirt, and it's precise, it's qualified, you can trust it. That was a great example because otherwise, you're never sure of the type of advice you will receive.
And the offline analogy is quite interesting. If you're going to a retailer and you're asking to try on some clothes, the salesperson might have a totally different body type. And she might not be aware that, yes, you should wear a high-waisted empire. I'm not familiar with these terms, so for you.
You're pretty good. Yeah. I have an enhancement feature that you can add to that. You should send a note to the boyfriend that or the date and let him weigh in on it.
No, that's a good one. Absolutely.
You should weigh in on it.
Terrific. We're getting a lot of traction in the advertising community about this content pyramid. This was from Advertising Age about a month ago. We just got interviewed from the Wall Street Journal. Again, because everyone's trying to figure out how do you monetize social media. And what we're offering is a solution for advertisers to engage with their audience on a branded site. So it's very attractive.
You have a diagram of this content pyramid?
Yeah, right here. I do, and I'd be happy to send it to you.
Experts at the top.
Yeah.
And we are exchanging content with the Hearst group. So in our community, we will have a section where we will have the trends of the month and the celebrities. So it will be very easy to try on the trend. as we will illustrate in the editors on the Cosmopolitan site with different virtual models. So that will be very interesting to grow this. So now that's the virtual identity animation. So it's not only online. We feel that more and more the difference between online and offline is, dissipating, because you want to bring it on any device in your hand with your cell or your BlackBerry or your J phone or whatever, and it should be very easy to bring it in the store with your size, and of course try it on your model in store instead of going in the dressing room. So it's coming, and I can tell you that all the young people, they even want to beam it in the window display where they say my model should appear and I should be able to try it on. It's an experience with the brand. Here with du Soleil, we are exploring for a few years now many possibilities with fashion and nightclub, for dating, and it's your virtual identity. So it's everywhere where you want to express who you are, and so we have some example, and at the end we have this say remix manifesto. It's all about reusing history. It's not history anymore, it's part of a personal creation. It's girl talk, and we have mixed it with this fashion reality show. The girls of the community, they want to create a fashion reality show where it would be done by girls, and here the virtual model of the girls are user. They are on the stage, they created their outfit, and we can imagine that designers are in the audience watching what people are doing. It's very interesting. It's a remix of the fashion world, an extreme makeover of retail, fashion, advertising, and branding. Basically.
So perhaps we can...
Question? Who is just this is the fashion reality show. So, thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Louise.
Thank you.
So you're at the IBM conference, so how can we help you at IBM, and how can you help us?
Thank you for this beautiful question. I really like it. I think it's a challenging time and an interesting time, because in our case, we really feel we are at the center of a world where we work with Hearst Media, publisher. Google is talking to us. We talk with you. Sandy is really fantastic. I can tell you that she understood very quickly what we are doing. She invited us to move and shake media, and in fact to really, and look, not many people are here, because I don't think that people are really getting it, not because they are not understanding.